Hi, and this is Marwan, and today we are going to start together a new video series. And in this video series, we are going to be discussing solving equations. In today's video, we're going to discuss how to solve linear equations, one-step equations, multiple-step equations, and use distributive property. So let's see what we have together. Our first questions here are one-step equations that we need to understand how to solve. Now, why solving equations is very important for all of us. It's the most common algebraic concept that you're going to see. Now, this concept can be used only as solving an equation, or in the future, it's going to be part of another question. Like you will be taking a completely different concept and you will find that solving the equation is part of that. Now, let's talk about equations in general. When we have an equation, we have two sides. These two sides of the equation are joined by an equal in the middle, which means that the right side is equal to the left side of the equation. It's like a balance. They are balanced together. Our main goal is to find the solution of an equation. What do we mean by solution? We need to find the value of the variable. How much is it? Like d, what is the value of d? Now, one-step equations are obvious. You can actually solve them mentally, but we will see how to solve them using steps because that will make it easier for you to solve other equations, more complicated in the future. Okay? Now, the way we solve equations is actually by using the properties of equality. What are the properties of equalities? Now, we have d plus 6, and d plus 6 is equal to 16. Our main goal is to find the value of d, so we want d to be alone in this side of the equation. So I want to get rid of that 6. If 6 is added to d, then you're going to get rid of it by using the inverse operation. So instead of adding 6, you're going to subtract 6 from both sides. If we subtract 6 from both sides, what happens? Now, d plus 6 minus 6, that's going to be only d, because 6 plus minus 6 is 0, and 16 minus 6 is going to be 10. So we can say that the value of d is equal to 10. Now, let's check if that's true. Now, if I'm going to remove d and put the value of d, which is 10, and add that to 6, and check if that's equal to 16 or not. Well, 10 plus 6 is 16, so yes, they are equal to each other. So again, our main goal is to isolate the variable without changing the balance of the equation. If we do anything, we're going to do it to both sides of the equation. We have another example here where 3x is equal to 24. Again, I want to isolate x. X is multiplied by 3. So the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide both sides of the equation by 3. 3 divided by 3 here is 1, so you only have x, and 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. So the value of x is equal to 8. We can check how we're going to substitute for x in the original equation. So 3 multiplied by 8, and we're not sure if it's equal to 24. Yes, 3 times 8 is 24, and 24 is equal to 24 on this side. So yes, my answer is correct. Okay, so this is one-step equation. This is the most simple and easy, but we are going to use it in our future questions. 2x plus 5 is equal to 12. My main goal, as we agreed before, is to isolate the variable. We want x alone on this side so we can find its value. Now, I have two things to think about. I have the 2 that is multiplied by x, and I have the 5 that is added to it. When we try to do the inverse operations, we start with addition and subtraction first, not with multiplication and division, which is opposite to the order of operations. So what do? We are going to start by, I have 5 added, I want the inverse operation of that 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. When we subtract 5 from both sides, we will be left out here with 2x, because 5 minus 5 is going to be equal to 0, and 12 minus 5 is going to be equal to 7. Now, we are back to one-step equation. I have 2x equal to 7. Now I can get rid of the 2 by dividing both sides of the equation by 2. These will cancel out because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And the answer for our question is going to be x equal 7 over 2 as a fraction, or x is equal to 3.5. Of course, we can check using the exact same way we did before. I have 2, and 2 is multiplied by 7 over 2. All we did is remove x and get the value of x. This is supposed to be equal to 12. We're not sure yet. Let's do the operation. Well, you're going to cancel the 2 with 2 because these are multiplied, and you're going to get 7 plus 5, and we still want to make sure that 7 plus 5 is 12, and 12 is equal to 12, yes. Now, how do we do that check? Actually, we work with each side alone, like here, the left side of the equation, we solve that alone, and the right side stays the same. Let's check out one more question. Now, what if we have parentheses? Now, here we're supposed to use distributive property. We're going to multiply the 6 by whatever is inside the parentheses. Then we are going to follow the same steps we followed before to isolate the variable. So before thinking of isolating the variable, we have to distribute that 6. So you're going to distribute 6. First, you're going to multiply it by 2x. Then we are going to multiply it by the 1. Well, 6 times 2x is 12x, and 6 times 1 is 6. And both together are supposed to be equal to the 18. Now I'll think about isolating the variable. As we said before, what do we do first? We are going to get rid of the value that is added to the x. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. We do that, we're going to get that 12x is equal to 12. You're going to divide both sides by 12. Well, it's pretty obvious what the answer is, but let's do all our steps. Then we're going to get that x in this case is equal to 1. Again, let's check. We always check our solutions. Even if you don't have the time to check, you can use a calculator to check, or you can even do it mentally if you have to. But checking your solutions will make it easier for you to make sure that your answers are correct. Now, we substituted for the x equal to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I want to make sure that we were not sure yet, but 6 times 3 is 18, and 18 is equal to 18. So yes, my calculations are correct. So we have been through one-step equations, and these are multiple-step equations. Sometimes it gets a little harder, like we have here. I have negative 5 equal to x plus 6 over negative 5. Well, it's not only x that is divided by negative 5. No, the whole thing is divided by negative 5. How do we solve this? In this case, we don't get rid of the 6 first. Actually, because both of them together, x plus 6 are divided by negative 5, my main goal will be not to have a denominator, because it just makes it harder to solve, that's all. So to get rid of this denominator, it would be a great idea if I multiply both sides of the equation, and I mean the whole thing, by the number I have, by negative 5. So I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by negative 5, or whatever I have in the denominator, as long as both of them, all terms, are divided by this number. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25, so we know this part is over. Now, if I am multiplying by negative 5, so I can cancel these together, and I have here x plus 6. Now it looks easier. It's a one-step equation. We will subtract 6 from both sides. Then we will get to see that x is equal to 19. Let's check. Have negative 5 equals, and let's check if 19 plus 6 over negative 5, how much is that? We're not sure yet. Well, 19 plus 6 is 25. And we know that 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. So both sides are equal. So my solution is correct. Okay? Let's see a different shape. Now, what if it's not both terms are divided by a number like we had here, with only one of them? In this case, we're going to get rid of the 27 first. So I am going to subtract 27 from both sides. Doing that, we will get that 4p over 6 is equal to 39 minus 27, which is 12. Now, we can either multiply by the reciprocal of 4 over 6 all at once, or we can do it in 2 steps. Both will be fine. This is as if I'm multiplying 4 over 6 by p. Okay? So I can just multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 4 over 6 is 6 over 4. Of course, you multiply both sides. And here on this side, they will all cancel out and you will stay with only the value of p. On the other side, what's going to happen is you're going to divide 12 by 4. You get 3, multiply the 3 by 6, you're going to get 18. Then you know that the value of p is equal to 18. Again, let's check. I'm going to get 4 multiplied by 18. I'm not sure how much is that. Divided by 6 plus 27. And I want to check if that's equal to 39, I'm sorry. So we can either multiply 4 by 18, and we know that in this case it's going to be about 72, or we can just divide the 18 by 6, get 3, then it's going to be easier for us, then we know that this number is 12. Either way, you're going to get the same solution. Let's do it step by step. If you have a calculator, just multiply 4 by 18 and you'll get 72. Divided by 6, you'll get 12. And 12 plus 27 is equal to 39. Yes, absolutely it is. So you know that your answer is correct. Okay, now we have seen multiple cases. One of them is how to solve a one-step equation, how to solve equations with multiple steps, how to solve distributive property equations. In all cases, we must check our solution to make sure our answers are correct. Now, it's time for you to practice. Try solving each of those cases on your own, and once you're done with that, you will find the answers in the first comment. Best luck for you all. I hope you found this useful. And thank you. See you in our next video about solving equations with variables on both sides.